Well, we were brilliant first half. I'll tell you that for nothing. Andreas Pereira putting us in front after a really nice move. Solomon down the left, pulls it back to Reed. Reed pulls it back to Pereira, who finishes beyond a Neto, who just didn't move, and it went in. And it was all quite fun and games up to that point. I thought Fulham played really, really well. We were playing some nice passages of play. Our starting 11, of course, Vinicius was up front, of course, ahead of Mitrovic. Due to suspension, Bobby D got over Reed on the right, Solomon on the left, Pereira in the 10, and Paulinho and Reed playing in the central defensive midfield areas at the back. Robinson, Ream, Diop, and Tete, of course, Leno in goal. So, I mean, obviously, Bournemouth needed to win this game more than we did. That being said, we've had 3 defeats on the bounce, coming off a really disastrous defeat against Manchester United, of course. So we wanted to get back to winning ways. And, being 1-0 up at half time, I was like, this is great. I mean, we're having great fun here. And I'm sure the Fulham fans in the away end as well were really enjoying themselves. And we were playing quite nice football, like I just said. Robinson crashed the crossbar in a fantastic effort first time. And yeah, I thought, well, I mean, Bournemouth had their chances. Atoro with a shot, sort of snapshot on the turn, which went just wide. And then, of course, they had that really weird chance. Didn't make any of the highlights on Sky Sports or Fulham's highlights, where, I can't remember who it was now. I think it was Atoro. Crashed the crossbar, but he was offside. But from about 3 or 4 yards, it was quite extraordinary how he missed that. But it wouldn't have counted anyway. And there was a VAR check for our goal as well. There was some thought that Solomon would be offside, and he wasn't. So that was good. That was 1-0. I thought Paulinho was really good in the first half. Pereira proving all the doubters wrong by scoring. I'm not sure where all this Pereira hate's coming from, but I thought he was outstanding in the first half yesterday. And a player who I'd be sad if we sold him, but if we sold him for a £35 million fee, then I don't see anyone who's complaining about that anyway. He is a real key cog in this 11, a real key cog. So I was pleased to see him get on the score sheet after weeks of a little bit of mixed messages from the Fulham fans about their thoughts on Pereira. Get your comments down below. Let's have a discussion. Yes, first comment of the day from Michael Heatley. Should have killed them off. Did Parker do our halftime team talk? I think it was just a case of Bournemouth wanted it more than us. If only Robinson's had gone in, yeah, that would have been a super goal, honestly. But it was always rising, so it hit the crossbar and went out the stadium. Right, let's get on to this second half performance where Fulham, we just did not turn up, and Bournemouth took the game to us, and it was very surprising to see. Where do you think the next points come from? We aren't a bad team, but doesn't look like we have the extra effort in us anymore to get over the line. And that's a question that I sort of want to ask everyone who's watching, really. Anyone who watches this video, comment down below. So let's get on to the second half first. Second half, we came out. Bournemouth had a flurry of chances. Ream cleared it off the line. It was panic stations, really. Then they get a corner. A second phase falls to a Tavernier, and hats off. What a goal. I was just like, you can't really do much about that. Brilliant goal that beat a top-class keeper in Bernd Leno. Great goal. What a goal. But we were pegged back, and I was thinking, okay, I think we could still win this from here. But Bournemouth had the ascendancy, and we were lagging. We weren't looking at our best. Bournemouth just kept piling on the pressure. And the second goal is so silly. It's so poor from us. Great save by Leno, who made another save just before that as well with his legs from, I think, Dom Solanke, who, by the way, I slated him last season because he was competing with Mitch in the goals, whatever. But he's a good player, isn't he? He's a good striker who's actually, could be key in keeping Bournemouth in the Premier League. And then he's putting pressure on Robinson after that initial shot comes in, and Robinson just doesn't doesn't clear it or doesn't, and it's another error from Robinson leading to a goal immediately. The one against Arsenal, the counter attack against Manchester United. It's concerning. I still like Robinson. He does have a mistake in him. I think he's. I keep saying it, I think he's key in the way we play, of course, as well on the left. But he has got these errors in him. It doesn't make him a bad player. It's just one of those things. It doesn't make him rubbish or shit. It's just one of those things. I think he's a very good player. And the way in which he stepped up this Premier League season has been extremely underrated. And I think more of that should be made of that. That Robinson really has had a very, very strong season. And apart from 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 errors, he's been great. And you could say that about a lot of our players this season as well. It's another defeat though. And obviously, when they went 2-1 up, we couldn't really lay a glove on them. We brought on TC, we brought on Dan James, we brought on Harry Wilson, we brought on every man under the sun, really. Even took off Paulinho at one point. And I thought we lost a bit of impetus when Reed went off as well. Harrison Reed, he was cracking. What a player, man. He's so good. And he got a little injury. I don't know if that's correlated to the substitution. But yeah, Matthew Dale says, morning, Jack. Vinicius just not up to it, I'm afraid. Yeah. And obviously that's going to be, he was good first half. I thought he held up the ball okay. But when you need someone in the box to attack a ball, he's not that guy. He's just not that guy. It's a shame. We put numerous balls in the box and Bournemouth dealt with it with ease, really. And I was confused as to why Dan James was playing in the 10 and then Harry Wilson came on and was playing right hand side. Why wasn't that switched around? Harry Wilson's more adept to playing in the 10. He's done it at Cardiff. He's done it at can't remember any clubs at Derby. Do you know what I mean? And then Dan James is naturally right. He's a right mid. So I didn't really get that. And obviously Dan James's pace would have got us down the flanks a little bit more, whereas he was just sat in the 10 and sort of trying to link play with the striker. I didn't really get it. But let's get on to what I want to ask everyone watching. And what's your thoughts? Like, what's your motivation now for the rest of the season? The title of this video is On the Beach. We are quite literally now, like we were yesterday, if you were on the beach, we're on the beach. We have nothing really to play for anymore, which is fine. That's not me going, I'm so disappointed in this team. There's nothing to play for. But that's what I would have wanted back in August, to be, how many games? 9 games to go or something, and have literally nothing to play for. That's fine. It's just a bit. It's just a bit like you lose your bit of motivation maybe to go and see a game or get excited for the fixture ahead. And we're going to be playing teams who have so much to play for. West Ham next week. We've got Leeds in a couple of weeks. Everton, Crystal Palace, who won, Leicester. We've still got to play these teams. Southampton, and it just feels like Fulham are just kind of, just on the beach. Even Aston Villa yesterday winning, puts them above us, which is incredible. And I think, like I said to Joe the other day, the lowest we can finish is 11th. That in itself is fine. It's just a shame that it's kind of just dwindled off. Like Fulham were, in that pack with Brentford and Brighton, like a chase for Europe. And it was exciting talking about it and thinking about it. But realistically, it would have been a stretch too far for us. And consequences down the line could have been. And everyone's now saying, oh, yeah, next season. I'm really worried for next season. Why? Because we've lost 4 in a row, and that happens to any team in a Premier League season against quality opposition, where we've got a whole summer ahead where we can recruit and change things and have a new team. Well, not a new team, but some changes for next season. I don't get this whole I'm worried for next season because we've lost 4 games in a row. Like, we could win against West Ham, we could win. And it's just the only worrying thing for me is the trend of performances so when you start the game well and then you basically get worse and worse and worse and end up, that's 2 games in a row now we've taken the lead and end up losing the game. Bournemouth, it was like chalk and cheese. The way in which they came out the second half, they were rubbish first half. They couldn't lay a glove on us basically. And result of Mitro's hearing and the Silva fallout will be crucial. Will they stay? No new contract for Marco yet. He could follow them. no, the contract with Marco Silva is it's let's focus on the here and now. Yes, we'd like him to sign a new contract. He's still got another 16, 15 months on his contract. There is time to sort that out. And the one club who were touting after Marco Silva in Spurs are going nowhere near him now, and that's not because of what happened at Manchester United. That's just because they've got their sights set on Nagelsmann. But yeah, it's something to address in the summer, perhaps, after a very wonderful season. It'd be nice to finish the season and be like, oh, here's Marco's new contract. We want to reward him after a really good season. Yeah, this is a good point. Might as well play Harris and a few of the youngsters. We have we've run out of steam, squad depth exposed, a few decent additions we can push on again. Paulinho will go, I'm afraid. Now, will Paulinho go, I'm afraid? Marco probably gets offered a new deal once survival is 100% guaranteed and FFP isn't a worry at all. I think survival is guaranteed. We're not going down. I mean, we need one more point. We've been sat on 39 points for so long. 40 points will be more than the cutoff it is this season, the way in which the relegation zone is shaped at the moment. But what is, so in the comments, what is your motivation now? What are you excited to see for the rest of the season, given that we're basically in no man's land? We're on the beach. We will not go up. We won't get Europe. We won't go down. We're just there. But the thing is, like I just said it, every single Fulham fan would have taken that in the summer, to be in a situation where we don't have to worry about anything. The only thing we can worry about is the nuances of the performances from Fulham and worrying trends we're seeing in football games. I sat there when the full-time whistle went and I just went, oh, well, bit annoying, but I can understand it if fans were more annoyed. I thought the second half performance was pretty turgid and very unlike Marco Silva's Fulham team. But we're still above Chelsea. Okay, so someone said avoid defeat versus Manchester City and to finish above Chelsea. Yeah, I mean, that's a good motivation. You know, we lost again yesterday. I was thinking, oh, Chelsea, you know, they win and they're suddenly above us, and that's quite sad. And they just didn't win. They just lost to a team who, albeit, then went above us. But yeah, I think there are, yeah, to lose 4 in a row is concerning in any league, in any context, in any team. But we've had we've basically done the hard work in the first half of the season, got ourselves into a position where we are going to survive. And whether that's psychologically we've just taken the brakes off, I don't think that's the case, because I don't know. I don't think Marco Silva's like that. He wants to win every game. The vantage point I had yesterday was the closest I've been to Marco Silva when he's been at Fulham in the dugout. And it was very, very interesting to see. I watched him quite a lot, and his mannerisms and his behavior on the touchline. And he's just so passionate. He literally fights for every ball, man. It's lovely to see. And Gary O'Neill on the other side also, you know, was very, very passionate. And there was an incident where he was like shouting in the fourth official's face, and I was thinking, you should definitely get at least a yellow card for that, and nothing was done. And I was a bit like, how on earth? Because he literally went right up to the fourth official, shouted. It was about a decision. Obviously, it's not the fourth official's. It's not his fault. It's the referees making the decisions, and yet the fourth official gets the brunt of it. And I can't believe he wasn't at least called over by the referee to have a talking to. It was aggressive, very aggressive. But let's leave it there. It was a pleasure to sort of see Marco Silva in that light, and I did enjoy watching like his passion and you know, his instructions and burn mortar as well. That was very cool. Yeah, this is a great one to finish off on. Let me get it up. Oh, there you go. I hope he stays. I don't know. I guess Marco Silva. We need to remember what we wanted at the start of the season, and that is exactly what I'm going to be taking away. Look, literally, if someone offered, I say it every week, if someone said to you right now, in August, by the 1st of April, you'll be basically safe, but you'll be on a bit of a bad run. But you'll be like, okay, that's fine. We've beaten Chelsea. We drew to Liverpool. We've had some really good nights, like really, really good games and really good afternoons of football. So this is football. This is what happens. And, you know, I did say a few weeks ago that if things start to get a bit stale, what's the mentality change of the fan base? It's fine. I get it. But let's leave it there. We are going to be back on Wednesday with another Jack and Joe show, discussing Bournemouth again and looking ahead to who we playing next. West Ham United, who I'm off to right now to go and play the Saints. So thanks very much for watching. Come on, Fulham, and we will see you when we see you. Come on, you Whites.